now. Hopefully my feet are in the video. Unless people want to look at my feet, that's their prerogative, but not my thing.
No, not mine either.
There's a scar on my big toe. We won't zoom in.
I didn't want to know that.
School has started. We're in full swing. First football game, band, whole thing, man.
27 to 7?
I think it was 34-7. Wasn't it?
No, it was 27.
Are you sure? Anyway, regardless, our team won.
Yeah.
Good job.
Bring it out with a bang.
Yep. I think we had the TikTok going before we recorded the last episode, but I didn't have a link tree. Now it's a link tree. So you can find the TikTok link to bring on the Qs, bring on the QS. That's the TikTok name for Bring on the Questions. It's on a link tree now, so linktree.com/BOTQS, and that link is there. No, we are not on iHeartRadio. Pretty sure we mentioned that at some point, but we'll have to get it on iHeartRadio, and then I will start the process to get it on Pandora, because people listen on Pandora also. Places. People's, places, things, platforms.
But we're on basically a lot of other platforms.
Yep, the big ones. Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
YouTube.
Yep.
TikTok.
I also updated the link tree so that it's colorful. So it kind of matches our logo with the bluish, aquamarine background, gradient. Tealish with the purple text, but the buttons on Linktree are purple. Someday we'll get affiliates. We ain't there yet. But we are making... I feel like we're doing pretty good on TikTok, even though the only thing I'm doing on TikTok right now is clipping the point when you ask the question for 1 minute. And then hopefully that brings people to the full episode. But when that catches up, because we're 20-something, this will be episode 23. So when that catches up, I've been posting daily on TikTok. When that catches up, what I'll do is I'll start at that point and clip for, I think TikTok will do 3-minute videos. I think they'll do up to 10-minute videos. But a YouTube short is up to 3 minutes, pretty sure. So 3 minutes is enough. Then as the week progresses, maybe I'll post pictures pertaining to the episode. You can get attached to all these social medias and find pictures and short clips, but I'll clip the episodes. So that's not just the first minute or 3, it'll be parts throughout, and it'll progress through the week. So just about the whole episode will be clipped and uploaded to YouTube Shorts and TikTok once they're all caught up to TikTok. As of today, the last one that I clipped as of right now, this recording, was episode 14. I think that's what it was. Mandela effects. What is Mandela effects? What is a Mandela effect? What are Mandela effects? However we worded it. That's where we are.
Video about Mandela effects.
Yep. Linktree. So we said all the things, and we had a game plan, and you got super duper involved with the witchcraft last week, so we cut that episode short. It wasn't short. It was still just as long. But we decided to make it 2 parts because it was getting extra long.
Yes. And it was getting late as of recording that episode.
Right. Maybe we'll get 2 episodes in, so we're ahead. Because right now it's only It's almost 4 p.m. on Sunday, August 24th. So what I did was I rearranged stuff a little bit for our list of episodes. So we'll get there. But here we go. A few minutes in, got all that rigmarole out of the way. So that means, Miss Foennix, what question are we bringing in this episode?
What is Witchcraft Part 2?
Mm-hmm. And while we were recording, I realized how long we were going, so I highlighted a section of notes in red. It was all about African witches. And that's why we'll start here, and then we'll end up in contemporary times, so modern times, about who's it's and what's it's of witchcraft. You want to start, or shall I?
I'll start.
Okay.
African witchcraft beliefs are remarkably diverse, encompassing a wide array of practices that range from healing and divination to the worship of ancestral spirits and deities. Notable traditions include Vodun, Hoodoo, Santeria, and Candomblé.
Sounds good to me.
Each representing unique blends of African, indigenous, and sometimes Christian or Catholic influences. These traditions often involve intricate rituals, ceremonies, and the use of herbs, charms, and divination methods to connect with the spiritual world and address various aspects of life, including health, prosperity, and protection.
It doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of taboo about it in the African community. Practice it. Do what you gotta do. Make us good. In Azandi society located in North Central Africa, witchcraft is perceived as a potent, hereditary psychic force used to inflict harm upon individuals. Oh, here we go. The dark stuff. This power is believed to operate at close range and can manipulate nature to cause misfortune, such as influencing animals or causing structures to collapse. Oracles and witch doctors play a crucial role in Azandi society, serving to identify those responsible for using witchcraft and to predict future tragedies. So maybe we were wrong. Maybe it's not as innocuous as we thought. Various methods are employed, including poison oracles, using a poisoned chicken, termite oracles, and rubbing board oracles, with witch doctors undergoing extensive training and performing public rituals to locate the source of malevolent magic. What's going on in Africa?
Witch doctors. Conversely, some traditions in Africa present a different understanding of witchcraft. In the Lower Congo province of the Democratic Republic of Congo, for example, certain traditions consider witches as individuals who have received a special insight to control, supervise, or protect their families. This form of witchcraft is sometimes viewed as an African leadership value, embodying the role of a seer who can foresee and avert harm to family members. This good witchcraft is believed to bring success and is distinct from malevolent practices. The Bakongo people, for instance, differentiate between witches,
Ndoki,
who are seen as antisocial enemies, and fetishists.
Yep, you had that right. Nganga,
who operate openly to assist those in need. The Black diaspora?
I think so. In the Black diaspora.
In the Black diaspora, the term juju describes conjure and charms used in African diaspora religions for both negative and positive purposes, including protection against malevolent witches. Historically, enslaved Africans utilized obeah. Alright.
Sounds good.
For resistance, a practice that was prohibited by Europeans due to fears of slave rebellions.
This African context reveals a more nuanced and often dualistic understanding of witchcraft, where it can manifest as both a malevolent force, as observed with the Azandi, and a beneficial, even leadership-associated power as seen with the Bakongo seer. This stands in sharp contrast to the predominantly negative and monolithic European historical view, highlighting the inherent danger and inaccuracy of universally applying Eurocentric definitions to the diverse global belief systems concerning witchcraft. Varying perceptions underscore that the function and perception of witchcraft are culturally relative, serving distinct societal roles such as social control, healing, leadership, or even resistance, rather than possessing an intrinsic moral valence of good or evil. Everybody does whatever in Africa. I don't know if there's some. It seems like there is a line drawn between the good and the evil, like black and white, or white and black, whatever. But I wonder if there's more of a gray area. I wonder if there's like a rogue agent that uses the dark arts to fight the dark arts. You know what I mean? Like Deadpool's an anti-hero. He's going to kill everybody in his way, even though that's not the code of the good guys, but he's acting as a good guy by getting rid of the bad guys, but in a bad guy way. Or there's a gray area for the witchcraft in Africa.
Maybe.
Interesting, right?
In contemporary times, particularly within first world nations, there has been a significant shift towards a positive association with the term witch, especially in relation to empowering women. Many women are actively attempting to reappropriate the label of witch as a powerful symbol of feminine strength, rather than accepting it as a dangerous insult. This trend notably gained momentum during the women's movement of the 1960s and 70s, with figures like Mary Daly.
Daly or Daly, I don't know.
Mary Daly playing a crucial role in reclaiming the world and refashioning it into something positive.
Whoa. You cast witchcraft for the women's movement? No? Yes?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Why? Why couldn't she use some sort of powerful spell to create a women's movement?
Well,
no?
I think it's a group of women getting together to protest.
Sheer numbers of women.
I think women want their freedom.
Yes. Wanted it? Do they still want it? Don't they have it?
Maybe not entirely.
Yikes. Feminism. Do you have thoughts on that?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Maybe at some other future time you'll have deeper thoughts on all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Modern witchcraft is increasingly perceived as a spiritual, empowering, and magical practice, often with a strong emphasis on self-development and personal growth. While historically and internationally, men have often been associated with terms like sorcerers or shamans, a growing number of male practitioners are now openly reclaiming the term witch to describe their spirituality and magical practices, thereby challenging its historically gendered connotation.
A notable proportion of men reclaiming the term witch identify within queer and transgender communities. For these individuals, witchcraft is seen as a practice that actively subverts patriarchal structures, provides a powerful means of self-affirmation.
You got this? Self-affirmation.
Self-affirmation, and offers a form of resistance against Christian hegemony and traditional binary gender norms. Modern witchcraft circles are increasingly embracing a fluid understanding of gender, viewing masculine and feminine as energies rather than being rigidly tied to genitalia or gender assigned at birth. This understanding allows for the fluid embodiment of these energies and aligns with with these energies and aligns with mythological narratives of gender transforming deities, creating a safe and affirming space that honors and values trans and queer identities.
Interesting. I mean, it makes sense. Witchcraft is welcoming to whoever, however, and it's all about the energies that you put into it.
All the peoples.
Mm-hmm. But I do wonder. I don't understand, and I'm pretty sure it's not in the notes. But in witchcraft, what would the difference be in the male energy versus the female energy, or the masculine energy versus the feminine energy? I don't know what the difference would be, how that would work. I don't know. I'm curious for that part. The modern reclamation of witch by feminists and its embrace by queer and transgender. Well, perhaps I should start over. The modern reclamation of witch by feminists and its embrace by queer and transgender individuals represents a powerful counter-narrative to centuries of historical oppression and negative stereotyping. This transformation demonstrates how marginalized groups can effectively take symbols historically used for persecution and turn them into emblems of resistance, self-affirmation, and a direct challenge to traditional, binary, and patriarchal power structures. This dynamic process highlights the adaptive nature of cultural symbols and their capacity to be re-signified by different social movements, transforming a historically negative label into a source of power and identity for those who have been historically marginalized.
Traditionally and historically, particularly within medieval and early modern European contexts, witchcraft was rarely believed to be the use of magic to cause harm or misfortune, known as maleficium against one's own community. This practice was considered inherently immoral and was often thought to involve communion with malevolent beings, including the devil. Witches were believed to gain their powers through a pact with the devil, renouncing Christ and the sacraments, and even performing blasphemous black masses.
Oh, perform blasphemous black masses.
Now that I'm thinking of it, is this where Maleficent got her name? Like the word malevolent and all that?
Yeah, for sure. There's even when they are addressing cancer, there's benign cancer, and there's it's not malevolent. What is the other word? Malignant. So benign cancer is, hopefully I'm getting this right. Benign cancer is relatively isolated, so they can go in and cut it out. Done. It's nowhere else. Hopefully, nowhere else. And malignant is the problematic cancer where it's going to spread. So that's my whole point on that, is those are the root words. Benevolent, benign, that's more like a static and not so bad. Malevolent, maleficent, maleficium is like the darker, the negative version of that.
Yeah. I think of benign as like more tumorish, like it's not so much cancerous.
But it's isolated. It's in one place. Yeah, tumor, so that's where it all is. So you can go get it cut out, and hopefully there's no ill effects beyond that spot if it's benign. Maleficent is evil-ish in the the Angelina Jolie movies, but I'm pretty sure that's how she got her name. Without going down the history of all that, it's a version of malignant or malevolent. Fun, huh?
Yeah.
Etymology, the study of words. Witches were blamed for a wide array of societal misfortunes, including illness or death suffered by adults, children, or animals. Specific ailments such as impotence in men, infertility in women, and lack of milk in cows were particularly associated with witchcraft. The perception of witches as evil was often a crime created and imposed on innocent people during periods of mass fear and hysteria, functioning as a form of societal scapegoating for unexplained calamities and anxieties. Some sources, especially those from a Christian theological perspective, identified witchcraft as a universal primeval religion of fallen humanity, and explicitly linked its open practice to the worship of Satan, viewing the Christian church as its primary adversary. So weird.
The historical portrayal of witches as inherently evil figures, often associated with the devil and malevolent magic, was predominantly a theological and social construct. This construct served multiple functions: to demonize non-Christian or dissenting spiritual practices, to consolidate religious and political authority, and to provide a convenient scapegoat for social anxieties and misfortunes, rather than reflecting an inherent malevolence of the practitioners themselves. This indicates that the evil label applied to witchcraft was a projection of fear and a means of maintaining power, rather than an objective truth about the practice or its alleged adherents.
It's primary example of ignorance. They chose not to understand. The powers that be chose not to understand what these quote-unquote witches were doing. I don't get it, and I don't want to get it, and that's bad. So I'm just going to make it evil, because I don't get it. I don't want to get it. You understand it? No. Good. Evil, right? Sure. The ignorance is astounding. It's the definition of ignorance, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Since the 1940s, a diverse array of neo-pagan witchcraft movements has emerged, particularly in Europe, seeking to revive and reinterpret historical pagan and mystical practices. Adherents of these modern traditions often self-identify as witches, but explicitly define their practices as a form of positive magic, thereby distinguishing themselves from the traditional malevolent understanding of witchcraft.
Modern Wiccan morality, a prominent form of contemporary witchcraft, is largely encapsulated in the Wiccan Rede, and ye harm none, do what ye will. This maxim is generally interpreted as a declaration of freedom to act, coupled with the fundamental necessity of thoughtfully considering and taking responsibility for the consequences of one's actions. It typically includes a prohibition against self-harm. Another key ethical principle prevalent in modern Wicca is the law of threefold return, which posits that whatever energy, whether positive or negative, one projects into the universe will return to them threefold. This principle serves as a powerful moral deterrent against unethical or harmful magic, as negative actions are believed to have magnified repercussions for the practitioner. Many Wiccans also adhere to the belief that no magic, even of a beneficent nature, should be performed on another person without their direct, informed consent, as doing so would interfere with their free will and thus constitute harm.
Right there, man. And ye harm none, do what ye will. So if I were to draw energy out of you for whatever spell that I might be casting, it would be better to ask you if I could borrow some of your energy. Or take it. I don't know how I would give it back. Because now it lives in the sunflower that I wanted to grow faster. Or something.
Something like that.
Ask before you draw the energy out of anything.
Yeah. Ask before you take.
And that actually makes me think of I've read it, I've listened to whatever about the tradition of Native Americans and thanking the things that they hunt and providing, like they hunt a thing kill the thing, and now it's providing sustenance for them and their families. But they thank it after they've killed it. Thank it for providing its energies, its sustenance, its food as food. So instead of just straight up slaughtering it and consuming it, there's a whole ritual behind the thanking it, but appreciating what comes from it.
Appreciating the sustenance that keeps them alive.
Right. To me, that's a ritual, form of magic, religious. I don't know, some weird combination of all those. Modern witchcraft, particularly within Wicca, is founded on core beliefs such as immanence, the recognition of divinity within every person and the natural world itself, and interconnectedness, the understanding that all forms of life are connected to each other, to the earth, and to the entire universe. These beliefs foster an ethic of compassion for all living things and for the earth itself, promoting reverence for the natural world and encouraging gratitude, enjoyment, and respect. The stark contrast between historical perceptions of witchcraft as inherently evil and these modern ethical frameworks, such as the Wiccan Rede and the Law of Threefold Return, highlights a deliberate and conscious effort within contemporary witchcraft to distance itself from its demonized past. This reestablishment of clear moral compass aligns with broader values of personal responsibility, ecological stewardship, and non-maleficence. That's how you say that, non-maleficence, serving as both an internal guide for practitioners and an external rebranding effort to challenge long-standing negative stereotypes.
Are you gonna?
What?
I thought you were gonna say something.
Nope, not that time.
While modern Western Wicca and other neo-pagan traditions emphasize positive, nature-based practices rooted in pre-Christian Celtic beliefs, the perception of witchcraft as dark and dangerous largely persists from a Eurocentric Christian perspective. This indicates that the reappropriation and positive redefinition of witchcraft are not universally accepted or understood.
Indeed, despite the decline of legal prosecution for witchcraft in most Western countries, modern witch hunting continues to occur in parts of Africa and Asia. In these regions, individuals believed to be witches are still persecuted, attacked, and even killed by their neighbors, even in places where laws against witch hunting have been changed. That's so weird that there are still... what is their definition of witchcraft at that point? That you see this person, I wouldn't even know. Like, they're drawing runes and they're directing, so it's a perception of directed energies at somebody. So they're like, oh, well, gotta get rid of that person. I guess, I don't know. This persistence of persecution and deeply negative perceptions of witchcraft, despite Western reappropriation and positive redefinition, underscores the profound cultural embedding of these beliefs and the ongoing real-world dangers faced by individuals accused of witchcraft. This highlights a significant disparity in the discourse surrounding the morality of witchcraft depending on the geographic and cultural context, revealing that the Western reappropriation of the term is not a globally universal phenomenon and that the historical stigma continues to have tangible, often tragic, consequences elsewhere.
Let's talk about spell work now. In witchcraft, spells are fundamentally a group of rituals, incantations, or specific practices designed to influence and channel natural forces to achieve a particular aim or objective. The overarching goal of any spell is to connect with the abundant energy believed to exist in the universe, as this power is understood to drive the force of a spell and facilitate its manifestation.
Interesting. The process of spellcrafting begins with establishing a clear intention, which represents the desired goal or outcome. This intention forms the foundational element of the spell. Practitioners then focus their energy, often aided by various tools such as candles, crystals, or herbs, which help to hone and direct this focus. The words of the spell, whether written, spoken, or both, are specifically designed to combine this defined goal, focused energy, and personal will, thereby sending the force of the practitioner's will out into the universe. This process is often likened to sending a request or prayer to a higher power, such as a deity or universal energy.
Spellcraft is not merely about throwing energy out into the universe and hoping it slaps a band-aid on your problem. Instead, it is depicted as a disciplined practice that requires a thorough understanding of the problem at hand, a strong vision of the desired resolution, and an openness to the various solutions that the universe might provide. This emphasis on intention and self-awareness transforms spellcraft into a tool for personal growth and problem-solving, moving beyond a simplistic view of supernatural manipulation to encompass a more profound engagement with one's inner landscape and the external world.
Mm-hmm. You gonna learn spellcraft now?
I don't think I have the supplies.
Why not? Like what? What do you need?
I don't know.
Candles? They're up there. Fire? It's everywhere. You can create fire. Runes? Want to cast some bones? Read some tea leaves? Are you interested in casting spells?
I don't know.
Would you cast? What would you cast? Prosperity? Give someone prosperity, like not necessarily monetarily, but happiness, out of depression, forward momentum and progress towards their goals. Stuff like that?
Maybe just fortune and whatever.
Would you do something like something not malevolent, but not necessarily positive? If you have somebody you dislike, every day at 2:22 they let out a big loud fart. Something like that.
I think there would be too many people doing that.
Too many people farting? How many enemies do you have?
I don't know.
You want to give somebody spaghetti fingers? Not like fingers that turn to spaghetti, but when something weird happens, spaghetti comes out of their fingers.
Like just spewing out of their nails.
Yeah, exactly. That would be crazy.
Every day at 3:48 p.m.
Spaghetti fingers.
And
see, it's not bad. It's not like catching somebody on fire or dismembering somebody, maiming somebody to where they can't use an appendage or anything. It's just
little petty jokes.
Yep.
Revenge petty.
Yep. Wow, I don't know why I can't think of the word. It's just an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Farting at 2:22 every day.
Small inconvenience to their everyday life.
Yep. Getting your books out of your locker, just it's 2:22. There's my poot for the day. The crafting and casting of spells in witchcraft frequently involve the use of various ritual items and elements believed to enhance and direct magical energy. Common tools include candles, herbs, and crystals, each chosen for their specific energetic properties and symbolic associations. See, you can find all that stuff. The herbs in the garden, the candles right here on the shelf. Crystals. I don't think we have any of those. You go smash them with glass. Is that crystal enough for you?
Could probably go into the river, find some rose quartz. Or that little creek.
Yep, for sure. For example, a green candle combined with money-related herbs might be used in a spell aimed at attracting prosperity and abundance. I don't know what money-related herbs are, but I want some.
Yeah.
The four classical elements, fire, earth, air, and water, are also commonly incorporated into spellcraft, particularly within Wiccan traditions, as they are seen as fundamental forces of nature that can be harnessed.
Mm-hmm. Beyond these tangible items, practitioners may utilize other tools such as sigils, magical symbols, talismans, or amulets, particularly for protection spells, to create a protective shield against negative energies and harm. Preparation for spellcasting often involves practices aimed at clarifying intentions and enhancing focus. This can include journaling to articulate desires, creating vision boards to visualize outcomes, or engaging in meditation or other spiritual practices to align one's mind and energy with the spell's purpose. The reliance on natural elements and symbolic tools in spellcasting reflects a deep connection to nature and a belief in the inherent energetic properties of the world. This approach underscores a worldview where the practitioner works with natural forces and the intrinsic qualities of materials rather than imposing their will upon them, highlighting a harmonious and reciprocal relationship with the environment.
Beautiful. Spells can be performed either alone or in groups, depending on the practitioner's preferences and the nature of the working. While specific rituals vary widely, several common guidelines are often followed to facilitate effective spellcasting.
Gathering ingredients and supplies. After setting a clear intention, the practitioner collects all necessary materials for the spell, such as specific candles, herbs, crystals, or other items relevant to the ritual.
So if you were going to give somebody spaghetti fingers, not fingers that turn to spaghetti, but spaghetti that comes out of the fingers, you would probably want basil as your herb, because it goes into spaghetti, or some sort of red sauce stuff. As for the candle, I'm not sure. I don't know if you want any Yankee candles or all the crazy scents. Probably not pumpkin. Do a squash. Pumpkin is a squash, though. Because you can do spaghetti squash.
Or you could do like tomato.
The tomato candle.
With the sauce.
For the herbs that go in the sauce, or oregano. Spaghetti fingers is a very herb-based spell.
Trying to think, what scent would spaghetti be for a good smelling candle?
I don't know if I want a spaghetti candle.
Definitely not.
It's fine in a pot. I don't think I'd want it in a candle form. The herbs, maybe. An herb-based candle. Like that. Something to think about. I'm gonna just spaghetti candle. See, that's the whole point of taking your time to get the right ingredients and
map it
out. Get your energies into it. See? It's the whole point. If you're gonna build a spaghetti finger spell, then take your time.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying. Setting intentions. Prior to commencing the spell, it is crucial to clearly define what one wishes to achieve. Spaghetti fingers. This clarity helps to focus the practitioner's energy, and a more precise intention is believed to yield better results. See, not fingers that are spaghetti, but spaghetti coming out of fingers.
Yes.
That's so you'd have to really concentrate. Coming out of your fingernails, or are we thinking more like Wolverine claws coming out of the knuckles, right out of the fingertips?
I'm thinking coming right from the cuticle.
Oh, see?
Like it just...
We gotta focus on that.
Sometimes you get spaghetti sauce on someone.
You gonna put sauce in it? I was thinking just noodles.
No, you gotta add sauce in there.
Then it's gonna look like blood. Right? It's gonna be chunky.
Or do we want Alfredo?
You're gonna need other herbs for Alfredo. You're gonna need some dairy added to your dairy candle. Maybe. I don't know. Candles are white. There's some intention there, I guess.
Ice cream scented candle.
For spaghetti fingers?
Dairy.
Yeah, and dessert too?
I gotta have a whole meal.
You shoot chocolate sauce out of your pinky?
And then the cherries out of your index finger. Cherry on top.
That's crazy. The whole meal in one hand. See, we're gonna solve world hunger. We're trying to make somebody's day worse. We're actually gonna solve world hunger.
Yep.
With spaghetti hands. Like full meal spaghetti.
Yeah.
Now is the right hand spaghetti and the left hand salad? What are we doing? Are we adding salad to this mix? Garlic bread. Don't forget the garlic bread.
Maybe
We're going to need garlic too. It's a very herb-based spell.
Just a giant Olive Garden salad bowl.
This is getting out of hand. And hopefully the salad bowl comes out of hand too.
I think you would work at Olive Garden if you had that inconvenience.
An inconvenience of making an entire spaghetti meal?
The easiest job ever.
How long would it take for somebody to get tired of that? Like, in your 30s, you're like, sweet, now I can make an entire spaghetti dinner with literally my hands. But if you started to be able to make your spaghetti dinner when you were 14, would you get, or maybe 8? You start working on adolescence and your tween years. How would you get tired of it by the time you finish high school? Like, do that trick again. I want some more spaghetti. Gotta do it again. Pay 50 cents to see the kid that can produce spaghetti out of their hands.
And here's some spaghetti for you, and maybe some garlic bread for you.
You hate your enemies? They can squirt garlic sauce right out of their pinky.
Craving some Alfredo? Just...
This is out of control.
Yeah.
This is where this episode went.
How did we go from witchcraft to spaghetti?
Spaghetti fingers. We're doing it. We're going to roll with it.
Casting a circle. Many practitioners choose to create a sacred space by visualizing or physically forming a circle of energy around their working area. This circle serves as a protective boundary, keeping out negative energies and helping the practitioner to concentrate on the spell.
You don't want the spaghetti fingers to go out of the circle at first. You have to get it right.
Just have a photo,
right.
A tray of spaghetti.
Right. You need your sigils just right. It goes out of the circle at first. It's going to be a mess.
Maybe just have your salt and then use that salt to boil your spaghetti.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Your circle of salt.
So, because you can't produce salt with the spell. Is that what you're saying? You shoot garlic and other herbs out of your fingers, but not salt. Salt is an external.
I'm saying
season.
Salt circle to protect from the bad energies.
Oh, right. You want your sauce to stick to your pasta.
I want it to be good.
Performing the ritual. Within the cast circle and with materials ready, the ritual commences. This may involve writing petitions, reciting incantations, lighting candles, or performing specific actions that align with the intentions and the nature of the spell. Don't forget your cauldron.
Nope. You need that cauldron and your salt to boil your spaghetti.
But if you're going to shoot the whole meal out of your fingers, is this like a candle, but like coming out of your hands? Somehow they capture all the scents of the various candles. Like a whole pumpkin pie, they can make a candle out of. Or Doritos. That's magic. You can have a whole cheeseburger with ketchup and mustard and a Dorito.
The fries.
The taco Doritos are magic too. You can taste the weirdly not good but moist lettuce that Taco Bell puts in a taco.
Yeah.
It's weird. I was like, that's the lettuce. That's the lettuce from a Taco Bell taco.
Yeah.
Somehow they've captured the essence in a Dorito. Can't tell me that's not magic.
Got some witches and
the Dorito factory. I believe it.
And just get your crystals and get that lettuce.
Yeah,
Create a Dorito.
Yeah, capture the essence of the moist lettuce. The moist, like tacoed up lettuce in the Dorito.
Closing the circle. Once the spell is complete, the circle is formally closed, often by visualizing its energy being released back into the universe. This step also involves releasing the desired outcome to the universe, trusting that the magic will unfold in its own time without being forced.
If you, like when you go to the bathroom, like at number 2, if you force it, then you might give yourself a headache. Don't force the spaghetti out of your fingers. Let it happen. What I'm saying. You don't want to get a headache. You don't want to get a spell headache. They're much worse.
Yeah.
Practitioners have the flexibility to create their own unique spells or to utilize those that are commonly practiced by others. Common goals for spells include healing, often used in conjunction with conventional treatments, protection against negative energies or harm, and various forms of love magic for attraction, commitment, fidelity, or fostering self-love. Or, I think, making spaghetti with your hands, because it's just fully formed from your hands, is a form of love magic. For me, it would be love magic for me. And we forgot meat. That had to come from an outside source. You cast all the spaghetti and the sauces and everything out of your hands, but if you're adding meat, it's going to have to come from an outside source.
We'll just take the fire, put meat on a spindle, and just crank it while you cast the spell.
Rotisserie ground beef. That's going to work.
And make a sausage around the stick.
Put the eggs in it. Stick it together.
Yeah.
What recipe are we building here?
Or some spaghetti. Sorcerer, I think the spaghetti's... Whoa.
Spaghetti.
I think the spaghetti is going to come alive at this point.
Put too much magic into it. See, don't force it. Then you're going to give a thought. The structured nature of spellcasting rituals, encompassing the precise setting of intentions, the creation of a sacred space, and the conscious release of outcomes, indicates a disciplined practice that seamlessly blends spiritual belief with psychological focus. This systematic approach suggests that spell work is not a random act, but a deliberate process of aligning personal will with universal energies, thereby emphasizing the practitioner's agency and responsibility in their magical workings.
I was going to say something.
About the spaghetti hands.
About the spaghetti coming alive. I would think of it as moving around, as half of it is springy, and then the other half is not cooked.
Al dente.
Sure.
That's what it means. You don't cook the noodles all the way. They're not crunchy. Maybe crunchy, but they're not cooked thoroughly.
Springy.
Kind of, yeah.
Bendable. That's what I think.
Name could show up. Are familiar.
Also, the spell circle thing and all that reminds me of the movie Hocus Pocus, but the second one.
Okay.
When the main character, I forget her name, I have to rewatch it. But when they first meet the Sanderson sisters, because on the 16th birthday, witch gets her powers, and it was her 16th birthday, so they did their birthday witch ritual in the Forbidden Forest. And when they go to the store and protect themselves from the Sanderson sisters, because they realize that they got tricked, and they use salt, and her hand glows, which means that the salt protects them. And also the shopkeeper, I also forget his name, gives them, I think they were called angel leaves, and they lift curses, and the Sanderson sisters locked the two friends in the basement and put a curse on them, but they had free angel leaves, and so they lit those on fire, and they waved their hand over it, and their curse was lifted, and so they got out of the basement.
Spoilers. For Hocus Pocus too.
It's been a couple years. If you haven't watched it by now, you should.
Perfect example of movie that has practices of witchcraft. Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus 2, Craft. There's one when I was younger.
Also, the candle in Hocus Pocus, both of them, lighting the black flame candle. The Virgin has to light the black flame candle for them to come back to life. And in the second one, they only come back to life because Virgin lit the black candle. Yes, it was burnt out in the last movie, but the shopkeeper made a new one because he witnessed the Sanderson sisters in the first one. Never actually got to talk to them. And took the girls into lighting the black flame candle, hence them coming back. Even more spoilers.
Basically, you saw the whole movie.
Yeah.
Where are we at here?
Historically?
No. Relationship between witchcraft and Wicca.
The relationship between witchcraft and Wicca is often a source of confusion, as the terms are sometimes used interchangeably, yet they represent distinct concepts within the broader landscape of modern spirituality. Wicca is a specific tradition of witchcraft that was introduced to the public by Gerald Gardner in the 1950s. While there is ongoing debate within the pagan community about whether Wicca truly reflects the practices of ancient witchcraft, many individuals do use the terms Wicca and witchcraft synonymously.
Historically, Gerald Gardner himself initially referred to his new religion as witchcraft in his early writings. The word Wicca itself has Old English roots meaning sorcerer or diviner. The historical evolution of Wicca, from an Old English term denoting a wise one or practitioner of magic, to a specific modern religious tradition, pioneered by Gerald Gardner, illustrates how terms and practices can be recontextualized and formalized over time. This dynamic process highlights the fluid nature of religious movements and the ongoing negotiation of identity within broader spiritual landscapes, where new traditions emerge by drawing upon and reinterpreting old concepts.
A fundamental distinction often articulated is that all Wiccans are considered witches, but not all witches are considered Wiccans. This highlights that witchcraft can be understood as a broader practice or skill set, which may or may not be tied to a specific religious system. For some practitioners, witchcraft is a set of magical techniques and practices that can exist entirely separate from their spirituality, meaning one does not necessarily need to interact with the divine to be a witch. This perspective is often adopted by those who identify as eclectic witches or even atheist witches. Conversely, for others, witchcraft is indeed considered a religion involving the use of magic and ritual within a spiritual context that often includes connecting with deities.
Furthermore, some Wiccans do not identify as witches, typically because their practice does not involve magic, which is the aspect most commonly associated with witchcraft. These Wiccans may focus primarily on the worship of the goddess and god, celebrating the turning of the wheel of the year, and living in harmony with nature without engaging in spellcasting or other magical workings. The negative connotations historically associated with the word witch also led some Wiccans to choose not to identify with the term. The distinction between witchcraft as a broad practice or skill set and Wicca as a specific religion reveals a considerable diversity within the witch identity. This demonstrates that magical practice can exist independently of formal religious belief and that spiritual paths are highly individualized, allowing practitioners to define their own unique relationship with magic and divinity.
Wicca is situated within the broader spiritual landscape of paganism, which serves as an umbrella term encompassing a multitude of different earth-based faiths.
God bless you, my child.
While Wicca falls under this heading, it is important to recognize that not all pagans are Wiccan. Numerous other pagan traditions exist, such as Druidry and Stragaria. Druidry, in its modern form, is a spiritual path and nature-based religion that draws inspiration from the ancient Celtic peoples and their traditions. It emphasizes deep connection with nature, the earth, and its cycles. Often involves rituals, seasonal celebrations, and a focus on personal and spiritual growth. Stragaria, meaning witchcraft in Italian, refers to a modern pagan religion that draws inspiration from ancient Italian folk magic and traditions. It's often associated with the concept of strega, which translates to witch in Italian. While the term Stragaria isn't widely used in Italy, it has gained popularity in the United States, particularly within the context of Italian-American witchcraft. This diverse landscape further illustrates the fluidity and syncretism of modern spiritual paths.
Italian witches, too. Beyond the pagan umbrella, the highly individualized nature of modern spiritual practice means that some individuals who identify as witches may integrate elements from other established religions. For example, there are Christian witches who embrace both the Christian god and a Wiccan goddess, and practitioners of Jewitchery, which blends Jewish mysticism with witchcraft. That almost seems derogatory, but not. Positioning Wicca and witchcraft within this broader umbrella of paganism and noting the existence of syncretic paths like Christian witches or Jewitchery illustrates the fluidity and adaptable nature of modern spiritual identities. This indicates that contemporary spiritual identity is often self-defined and can blend diverse traditions, challenging rigid categorical boundaries and demonstrating a personalized approach to belief and practice.
When examining historical figures associated with witchcraft, it is crucial to distinguish between those who are accused and executed and those who may have self-identified as practitioners of magic. The historical narrative of witchcraft, particularly in Europe, is largely dominated by the tragic accounts of individuals who were victims of persecution rather than self-proclaimed witches. Many of those accused were ordinary people, often targeted by their neighbors due to social tensions or social anxieties, rather than individuals who practiced what would be recognized as witchcraft today.
Notable individuals who were accused and executed for witchcraft during the early modern period include Guy Spandamager, who died in 1543, was burned to death.
Lasses Birgitta, 1550, the first woman executed for witchcraft in Sweden, who was beheaded.
Agnes Waterhouse, 1503 to 1566, the first woman executed for witchcraft in England, who was hanged.
Policina of San Marcario, 1571, who was also burnt to death.
Beyond individual cases, there were also waves of accusations that led to group trials, such as either the Lancaster or Lancaster witches. Thinking Lancaster. A group of women tried together in England. The focus on individuals accused and executed rather than self-proclaimed historical practitioners underscores the tragic reality that the historical narrative of witchcraft is largely one of persecution and scapegoating. This distinction is vital for understanding the historical witch as a label imposed by persecutors, contrasting sharply with the modern witch who was a self-identified practitioner.
The modern pagan revival has its origins in the 18th century, a period that saw the breaking of the Christian religious monopoly in European society and the emergence of alternative ways of engaging with the world, notably influenced by Enlightenment thought. Early figures in this revival included prominent Romantic poets such as Percy Shelley and John Keats, who, along with their literary circles, performed what are considered the first pagan funeral rites in Italy since the Roman Empire's conversion. Later Romantic poets like George Meredith and Algernon Swinburne.
Fun name. We should bring that name back. We're gonna have a son and name him Algernon.
Swinburne.
Not necessarily Swinburne. That's the last name.
We can make it a middle name.
Algernon. Well, sure. Algernon Swinburne Jones.
Yeah. What a crazy first and middle name to the last name. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Right? Algernon Swinburne continued to write about nature deities, while figures such as Oscar Wilde and Kenneth Grahame also incorporated pagan themes into their works.
The movement also attracted notorious occultists like Aleister Crowley, who aimed to restore paganism in a purer form, and Christian mystics such as Dion Fortune, who celebrated rites for Isis and Pan. These intellectual and artistic currents lay the groundwork for more formalized modern pagan traditions. We will have an entire episode on Mr. Aleister Crowley.
There's even an Ozzy Osbourne song called Mr. Crowley.
Yes, based on Aleister Crowley.
You want to go listen to that? Key pioneers?
Yep.
Key pioneers in the development of modern witchcraft and paganism include Gerald Gardner and Doreen Valente, whom we touched on in our previous episode, What is Wicca? Their friend Ross Nicholas is also important to note. He founded the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids, linking Wicca and Druidry within contemporary paganism.
The emergence of modern paganism and witchcraft from a confluence of Enlightenment thought, romantic literary movements, and occult revivals reveals a complex intellectual and cultural lineage. This demonstrates that contemporary spiritual practices are not isolated phenomena, but are deeply rooted in historical shifts away from religious dogma and towards individual spiritual exploration and the re-engagement with nature and ancient belief systems.
In recent decades, a number of influential figures have played significant roles in shaping and popularizing modern witchcraft and paganism, often through their writings, activism, and community leadership. These individuals have contributed to the growth in public understanding of these spiritual paths.
Now, we already touched on Margot Adler, Z. Budapest, Laurie Cabot, and Raymond Buckland. We talked about them actually in the Wiccan episode, not the Witchcraft one. Not the Witchcraft Part 1. But to add to the list, we have Starhawk, which is an awesome name. For one, how cool is that name? Not their birth name, but Starhawk, an influential activist, anarchist, and author of The Spiral Dance. She's a co-founder of the Reclaiming Collective, known for its feminist, environmentalist, and politically activist form of Wiccan paganism.
Raven Grimassi,
Sure, sounds good to me.
An author who contributed significantly to the understanding of Striggeria, a distinctly Italian form of neo-pagan witchcraft.
Deborah Lipp, an author and high priestess of a majority queer coven, her work explores themes of gender fluidity within witchcraft.
Mary Dolly, while not a witch practitioner in the modern sense, this feminist theologian was instrumental in reclaiming the word witch as a symbol of female power during the women's movement.
Other notable contemporary figures include Philip Carr Gomm and Philip Shawcrass, leaders in Druidry. Vivian Crowley, Wiccan author, not related to Aleister Crowley. Prudence Jones, pagan spokesperson. Selena Fox and Isaac Bonewitz, another cool name. The prominence of authors, activists, and public figures among contemporary influential practitioners highlights the critical importance of intellectual discourse, community building, and public education in shaping modern witchcraft. This suggests that the growth and acceptance of modern witchcraft are driven not only by individual practice, but also by collective efforts to articulate its philosophy, challenge stereotypes, and engage with broader social and environmental issues.
Witchcraft, far from being a singular, monolithic entity, is a profoundly fluid and culturally defined concept that has undergone significant transformations across millennia. Its definition, origins, and moral perceptions vary drastically depending on historical period and cultural context. Historically, in many parts of Europe, the perception of witchcraft as inherently evil was largely a theological and social construct systematically employed to demonize non-Christian practices, consolidate religious and political authority, and provide convenient scapegoats for societal anxieties. The widespread witch hunts of the early modern period, disproportionately targeting women, exemplify how fear and social control mechanisms can weaponize belief systems.
In our next episode, which is going to be our next episode, we'll get into the Salem witch trials, which gets into the social anxieties and how it pretty much targets women.
And burn the witch.
All that. You're going to watch Monty Python and Search the Holy Grail is not that there's just a scene in there where they're talking about burning witches. But the overall movie is not about that.
In the first Hocus Pocus movie, since it takes place in like the 1700s,
okay,
I'm pretty sure, something around that time, and they do show at the beginning because they cast a curse that for a virgin with a black flame candle, and that all happens. But before that happens, they were all tied up and were going to be hanged. And there was one holding the book, and they started singing, which made them cover their ears and drop the book. And hence, book opened, and they cast the spell that made the black flame candle, so that they would come back on All Hallows Eve.
Or Hocus spoilers.
Have you
watched that movie?
I don't know. I've watched both of them at least a few times.
You can just about recite the whole movie.
Basically.
That's crazy.
I like Binks better as a cat.
Like what?
Binks.
Oh.
The boy who got turned into a cat.
And back to a boy?
At the end, when he was finally put to rest. Because they had truly died. But not really.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't survive the sunrise. Black Flame Candle was blew out by the sunrise. So they were sent back through down there.
You want to get a black flame candle?
Nope.
Why?
I don't want witches. I don't want them malevolent. I don't want the malevolent witches.
Because that would be bad.
Yeah. I'm not trying to have my soul eaten.
Come on. Why not?
Because I want to live?
Who needs a soul?
I do.
A production of Wayward Things Network.